Right. Mr. Vijay, I'm going to pause you there for a moment. Mr. Vijay, I'm just going to...
More money than the petrol...
I'm just going to interrupt you for a moment, Mr. Vijay. I'm going to come back to you to let you finish that point. We just have Mr. Godrej joining us on the phone line as well. Mr. Godrej, let me get a sense from you as well on what you really took away from the Prime Minister's speech tonight. He did try to sound reassuring when he talked about why they undertook all these key reforms, but also, the undertone they're talking about the kind of grim economic situation we're in right now.
Well, I'm very glad the Prime Minister explained in his address to the nation what steps were taken. Economically, they're extremely important, and I think he explained them very well. And unless we take these steps, unless we make the economic reforms that are required, the GDP growth is likely to stagnate. Now I think there is a good opportunity to get the GDP growth growing again. I think one of the things also the Prime Minister addressed was the perception about India, because the perception both within India and especially outside India had deteriorated. He has addressed that over the last week, and I think this address will further clarify matters. You saw how the stock market reacted today, how the appreciation of the rupee, which was extremely good because appreciation of the rupee can fight inflation very strongly. I think all these measures are adding value, and I'm very glad the Prime Minister addressed the nation.
Right, absolutely. So definitely a positive mood or positive takeaway coming in there. Mr. Godrej, to what extent, just also given the light of today's political developments and looking at how, despite the TMC being out and the SP being in, the government is saying it's going to continue to go ahead with reforms, how confident are you, given its shaky status right now, minority status right now in the House, that it will continue to be able to do so?
No, I think the government will be able to do so, but what they will be able to do well is the administrative reforms, because the legislative reforms might be difficult. However, there is one legislative reform which can make a huge difference, which is the goods and services tax. So I think the government should pay a lot of attention to trying and getting the goods services tax into effect by April 1st. That will be a game changer. It will add 1.5 to 2 percentage points to the GDP growth rate. Other things will almost immediately it is enacted. So I think they should concentrate their resources on getting the GST done. CII is also working with the state governments, with the opposition parties. I think the whole country recognizes that this would be a game changer. To my mind, it will be the biggest reform since '91.
Mr. Godrej, many thanks for joining us tonight here on The Final Word. We know you have to rush. Let me also bring in Sunil Jain. Sunil, you said it's unlikely